Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video, and this week we're jumping into Daily Race B. It's in Group 4, it's at Interlagos, it's a classic combination, and the car of choice for this race will be the Nissan Silvia. It's the one dominating the leaderboards at the moment, so when you've not had any practice, you've not set a lap time, just pick the meta car and hope for the best. And hope for the best is going to be what we are doing here, because as you can see from that first attempt at practice lap, it did not end up going very well. So we're just going to use the 50 odd seconds that we have remaining here just to try and get a feel for the car, just get a feel for how it reacts in the corners. It's a car that just about everybody has driven recently. If you've tried Group 4, it's just dominant in so many ways at the moment, in terms of power, in terms of its acceleration, handling. It's a little bit slidey. However, once you kind of get the feel for it and the way that the power distribution is sort of when you put your foot down, basically how it reacts to it, if you're smooth, it's actually really quite a stable, nice car to drive. However, there are other cars out there that can compete. I think there's a McLaren in the top 10 at the moment as well, so if you're not a fan of this car, certainly give the McLaren a go. That's what I would suggest anyway. But as you can see, we managed to get a couple of corners in, and here we are now. Right away, there is one noticeable driver in this lobby. Oh yes, it's Kimi Vellicini, our arch nemesis, the arch nemesis of all of Gran Turismo 7, just about. And yeah, he's in here, we're in here, and that immediately put me on edge. We are at the back and he is at the front, so there's a lot of cars between us, and that might help us. You can see there on the chat, he's actually said good afternoon. He's picked me out, said good afternoon to me, and I'm going to reply by, hopefully telling him to have a clean race, but we'll see, because as we know, Kimi and clean, they're not two words that you would normally put together. But you never know. You just never know. Maybe, just maybe, he's going to have a nice clean race. The thing about him is, he does put in some clean performances to get that SR and keep it up to A and avoid DR resets. I mean, he's down at DR8 at the moment, so he's perhaps trying to build his DRSR back up and get it so that he is in the top splits of daily races again, causing more havoc, no doubt. But we're going to just, try and think about our own race. We're in P15, we've got a lot of work to do before we get anywhere near the front of the pack, if that is at all possible, because it's only 5 laps and it's not the easiest place to overtake round here. But we'll give it our best shot. As we come into turn 1, just kind of guessing where to brake, to be honest with you. We've got a Ferrari in front of us, and then a plethora of Silvias in front of that, so just safely make it through the Senna S's there without binning it. It is quite easy to bin it there if you get it a little bit wrong, get too much of your car on the curbs, it can unsettle it. But as we come into the first fast left-hander here, you can see there's been a bit of contact between two cars, and we're going to just have to take avoiding action there as Boris, the Frenchman, is coming back onto the track. So yeah, he's lost out in a few positions there, and we're going to just try and keep it nice and tight, keeping an eye on that radar now, because I had a feeling that Boris, the Frenchman, wasn't going to be too happy about the way he had to leave the track and rejoin it. So coming around the left-hander here, and yep, we're going to get absolutely smashed to pieces there, but we keep it on track, and you can see Boris, the Frenchman, just absolutely barging his way back through there, not receiving a penalty for his trouble. So yeah, the game decided that was clean, however he managed to do that. So yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating that kind of driving doesn't go punished, and you can see a huge amount of smoke there on the right hand side, and there's a car ghosting back onto the track. So we're going to possibly pick up a couple of positions here. We're certainly going to get the Ferrari as he serves a half-second penalty for leaving the track, and we're going to come right up onto the back of the German here in the Red Bull Silvia, and we move up past him. So we've now managed to get up to P13, so a couple of places made up, and we're going to just come down into the Senna S's. You can see another French driver there took a little bit of a, must have missed his braking point, but quite some there because he just about held on, and now we are firmly in the slipstream, so that's good for us. We've got a rage quitter already, so we're down to 15 drivers. That's the kind of, you know, the kind of thing that would happen in this race if you had received a huge penalty and you just decided to quit the race. So we'll have a look at that in the replay afterwards. But we get the yellow flags out, and there goes another driver, and he has decided also to exit stage right. So yeah, we're up to P11 now, so 4 places gained. This race has started off pretty, well, it's been pretty hectic. There's been a lot of incidents so far, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be the cleanest of races from this point. So definitely, but at this point I was very on edge, to be honest with you. I've just recently got this account up to the A+ category. I don't really want to lose any more DR unnecessarily, so we're just going to try and take it easy. We know that some tempers have already frayed amongst the cars in front of us, so it's important that we just kind of keep our cool, sit back, hopefully just pick off a few more positions as we get right into the slipstream here of the Frenchman coming up the long straight towards the start finish line. So hopefully we're going to get a run on him here as we're firmly, like I said, in that slipstream, but he is picking up some of the slip from the cars in front, so it's not going to be as straightforward. We're going to just sort of fake to the right, and then we're going to dive in to the left. So we're going to the inside here for turn 1 and going to get on the brakes, but he brakes really late, and then we realise why he braked really late, because he went for the punt. We kind of bizarrely decided to take out the car in front. I'm not sure why, but we'll check in the replay afterwards to see exactly why. And we then ended up in a little bit of contact with him as he sort of floundered about on the track trying to hold it. So I don't know what was going on there. We're now up to P9 from P15 after 2 and a bit laps, and yeah, it's all been because of other people just deciding to commit atrocities amongst each other. And all the while, if you look at the leaderboard up there in P2, still it's Kimi. He seems to be having none of it. He's just driving along, by all accounts, just, you know, picking up DR from finishing ahead of a lot of other drivers, just having a clean race by the looks of it. But we've got this guy in front of us, Boris, the French driver, also in a pink Silvia, so I don't know if it's something to do with the colour pink. It puts me on edge because Kimi always drives a pink car, and this guy in front of me, who has caused carnage already at the start of this race, is also driving a pink car. So yeah, maybe it's something to do with the colour pink. I don't know, maybe that's just a coincidence, but there we are. As we check back there, we see penalty being served, and we end up in a little bit of no man's land at the moment because we've got a fairly big gap to the car behind us, fairly sizable gap to the car in front, but we really do want to catch the Frenchman in front and see if we can pick up another position, because, well, I do feel he was to blame for me losing quite a few positions at the beginning with his antics as he decided to barge through the pack. But we're going to go, well, we're going to catch right up to him now by the time we started the last lap. You can see there though, Kimi's still in P2, so that would suggest he's had absolutely no issues, because the top 3 all remain the same. You can see French driver taking some defensive action, even though we are miles behind at this point, so that immediately made me think that he's not going to be one for giving up this position. And I'm going to be right about that, because we're going to come round here, we're going to catch pretty much right up to the back of him as we come through the middle sector here, and that's going to give us perhaps an opportunity to make a little move as we get right on his bumper there, just backing out, making sure we don't contact him round the left-hander. Now we can get a little bit of a drive out here. He's went wide, so if we can get a little bit of a drive, just not going to be close enough to send it up the inside there, so we just going to bide our time. And at this point now we're thinking, yep, best chance, as he almost loses it, best chance of making the move will be up the home straight, so it's important to try and get a good exit out of the final turn, and that's what we're going to try and do, is we clip the apex nicely, and we've got right into his slipstream now, so we do have a chance. We've got a chance to make the run over the line and get that position. But the Silvia, it's hard to overtake another Silvia because the power and acceleration is pretty OP at the moment. But we're going to make a decent attempt here as we're coming up on his backside, and we're going to move out, but the line comes too quickly, and over the line we go for P9. So, well, it felt like a fairly uneventful race in the end, but that beginning was just insane, to be honest with you. So let's have a quick look as we jump forward and see exactly who did what to who. You can see the pink car here, this was Boris. He just touched this fellow Sylvia and he lost it on the back. Well, he lost it as his tyre touched the green stuff, and he basically was just trying to save the car, but he collided into the Frenchman here, and the Frenchman clearly saw that as an act of war. So as the four of us in front of us were all driving pretty cleanly around there, he just decides to go bowling into us as he just smashes his way through the pack. Now I get that he was upset because he was in P11, he had the incident, it dropped him back to P15, and his way of dealing with it was just to take the positions back one way or another, which he kinda did, so it was pretty brutal driving from him. Here we can see another incident in lap 1 here as the German in the Red Bull liveried Sylvia just barges his way past. Now the Spaniard is clearly unhappy with that type of manoeuvre, and he just absolutely smashes him off into the Shadow Realm. So, you know, tempers were absolutely fraught at this point, and this was only lap 1. So by the time we got to the end of lap 2, or the beginning of lap 2, you can see here the Frenchman almost took out his fellow countryman there. It looked like I just missed his braking point, but when we got to the end of the next lap, he did the exact same thing, and this time he made sure he connected with someone. So I think he just wanted to take out his anger on someone. He didn't really care who, and that was us there having a little bit of contact with him. You can see from my point of view, I couldn't really avoid this contact as he smashes him off there. He leaves the track, he's a bit all over the place, his back end's out, and he basically was coming to a standstill, and I just had to just guess which way he was going to go, and I just decided I would just stay in the middle, and we made some contact. But that was how it went. But yeah, if you like this video, if you like this content, then, you know, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You never know, you might enjoy a lot more content that's coming your way. But yeah, thanks for watching. This race was absolutely chaotic to an extent. Kimi was absolutely clean for once in his life, and he drove round at the front and finished P2 just like any normal driver would, whereas at the back, yeah, that's where it was all kicking off, mainly down to this pink Sylvia you can see in the footage here just smashing its way through the pack. And it just got it, basically one driver can create havoc in a lobby if they just decide that they're going to start hitting into people, because a lot of the time you don't know who's hit you. You just end up, you know, thinking, well, it might be him, I'll just take them all out. I think that's the way a lot of people drive. They decide they want revenge on someone. They don't really care who, but it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.